A woman shall not wear man's clothing, nor shall a man put on a woman's clothing. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord your God. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5.
When I was young, I was bullied at school, and Asperger's marked me out as being different. It robbed me of my childhood and defined me as a person. The trains became my friends. Some colleagues at work know I'm transgender. Every day I go dressed as a man for work. My name is Adrianne. I'm 42 years old and work at Northern Ireland Railways.
I have lived all over the world. I always knew I was different. I never wanted to play with dolls when I was young. I used to give them to my sisters. I felt inside I was a man. I never felt like a woman. When I was a child, I had big problems working out how to make friends. I used to hide in the toilets at break times. It was not until 6 years ago that I was diagnosed with Asperger's.
Things are different now. I'm engaged to Karl. I never thought I would meet someone. He's my soulmate.
At university, I never knew how to socialise with my classmates. I felt alone, became depressed and anxious. I met Adrianne at the Butterfly Club and it has changed my life. My name is Karl, I am 35 years of age and I am transgender.
The way I feel about All Souls and the nature of the congregation here, Adrianne, is that what is important around the issue of inclusiveness is that we see that no matter what race, gender, colour, creed, sexual orientation, that people are welcome into this church, and that we don't make any judgment on whoever walks through that door. That it's important that it's a Christian community, and I emphasise the word Christian, that we are seen to be acting as we understand it in the true message of Jesus Christ, and that is that everybody is welcome into the Lord's temple. I personally like the fact that the church makes a particular case around the LGBT community, because at the moment they are very much the community that feel that are marginalised, particularly by the Christian churches.
The thing that marks this church out has been very different to most of the others is what you've mentioned, the fact that, you know, it's welcoming to the LGBT community, and it's something I think that we felt very excluded from. And it was a huge thing for me to walk into this church as myself, as Adrianne, look around, say, I'm in a church as me, there's no pretense anymore, and I can worship as me. It was a very, very liberating experience indeed.
Asperger syndrome is a rather complex developmental disorder that impacts on an individual's ability to interact and relate to other people. So the sorts of things that most of us take for granted and find very easy, such as making friends, enjoying the company of others, finding partners, developing relationships with others, these are the very sorts of things that people with Asperger syndrome find incredibly difficult. And in order to achieve those things that the rest of us take for granted, they have to make an incredible effort to overcome some major challenges. So Adrianne, you and I have obviously talked at some length about your whole developmental history, right from you were a very young child up until now. What I would be interested to know is what difference that has made for you actually having that diagnosis confirmed.
It's a good thing because, as you said, that reminded me of so many things of my childhood and in the past when I thought I'm not good enough. there's a catch, there's something wrong. But to understand why I am the way I am is fantastic. It's an immense sense of relief to understand myself and the reasons why I think and behave and the way I am. And I always thought I was totally unique, I was a weirdo, and then when I learnt about Asperger's and things, then I thought, well, I'm not. I'm like so many other people. It's helped me in a way to stop and smell the flowers. You know, I felt in the past I was living life 100 miles an hour, moving from one thing to another thing to another thing. I could never really truly enjoy what I was doing in that moment in time, because I was pushing myself so far to feel as if I had to make up for my past failings, you know. And I think it's put my life, framed it in a much better context now.
Just really trying to understand the woman's world was quite difficult. So, for example, I would see my sisters, you know, getting the hair done and the makeup done, and I was going, this is boring. Can we go? I know, and you look fine without makeup, and why are we worrying about clothes? You've got clothes. We don't need any more clothes. We need to go. This is boring for me. Right. So that's what I think. Yeah.
Is there a link between Asperger syndrome and transgender issues? The first question is, maybe I'm not in the right body. I feel so different. I don't feel as if I can connect with people who I should be able to connect with. And so they question maybe as to whether they physically feel right in the body in which they were given. For me, it is not surprising that the key thing for someone who has Asperger's syndrome is actually finding an other who actually understands and relates to them and who they have something in common with. The key thing, and what folk with Asperger's syndrome get out of meeting other people with a similar diagnosis, is that connection. And that connection is far more important than someone's age or as attractiveness, as I've said, or even gender. So that's where I think there is a very strong link between Asperger's syndrome and issues and queries around gender.
I met Adrianne at the Belfast Butterfly Club. So I remember she came in and she used to go to ballet, and she'd come in just after ballet wearing a little ballet outfit, and I kept on thinking that this wee ballerina was coming to Belfast Butterfly Club, and then it took me quite a long time to realise that she fancied me, and she actually had to tell me a year and a half later that she fancied me because I was actually getting the hints, and then I felt really, really happy because I didn't think anybody would fancy me because I wasn't sure about my sexual orientation at that point. So I wasn't actually, didn't seem to be attracted to anybody really. Just made me a lot happier, and I've got somebody in my life that's really nice and a lot happier now, and not feeling so alone, and not feeling very happy before, and then I met her and then I felt a lot more positive, so it was good. Yeah. When I first met Adrianne, I didn't realise how much she liked trains. I knew that she liked ballet because she used to come to the Butterfly Club dressed up as a ballerina.
Did I? Oh yeah, no, that was after. I was wondering whether, because I never used to actually do that, as I had been to class.
Oh,
that's right, because I'd always come from the class, so I'd already been.
From class dressed as a ballerina. I didn't realise that she really liked trains, and then I suddenly realised after several trips to see several trains and the need to go.
I always wanted to do ballet as a child, and it took me an immense amount of courage to pluck up the courage to ask my mum, and eventually when I did, she said, no, I don't think it's wise, sort of thing, you know, you can if you really want to, sort of thing. I took it up as an adult, you know, for several reasons. One, because I knew I was dyspraxic and I wanted to develop the motor skills and things, and another one was, it was a channel, it was a means of feminine expression when there wasn't one really in my life at the time. It was a very masculine sort of life. And I was sort of welcomed in as an honorary girl to some extent, you know, doing the same sort of steps and curtsies and things like that. you know, that was a catalyst really for making me want to explore my femininity more and give me the confidence initially. And somewhat ironically that, you know, within the genteel environment of a ballet class, you know, the discrimination came out when I finally made that final wee step, came in makeup, breast forms, presenting as a woman, and that's really sort of when I was made to feel not welcome anymore.
So what I like about Adrianne is I like her obsessions because it's really interesting for me to see like what an autistic person is like, and then sort of understand why she's interested in trains. I can understand it because I like technology and gadgets, and it's really, you know, interesting to see that she's fascinated by them. When I'm starting to learn about them, I'm asking her questions, you know, and like asking more and more. And then so I didn't realise you liked signal boxes, and then we were in the signal box, and I was trying to learn how all the things work because it's quite logical and there's a reason for everything, and like this signal means this, like this signal means that, and then I was trying to read the diagrams. Interesting, like, yeah.
I just wanted to do that job so much for real, and you know, it was such a chat. I just realised now that, you know, with having Asperger's and learning difficulties and dyslexia, it's probably not, I don't know, a good thing, but I mean I can accept it now that you know, I've just grown up and matured, I suppose, like, you know, and yeah, you're the most important thing in my life, Karl.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like crying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you much.